Yeah, this is the perfect chance to introduce this guy.
What was that? What did you say in my tunnel? What? Huh?
Polly, don't mutter things under your breath. Your father gets like that when you mutter.
Alright, sorry.
Carla, who? Why? Huh? Why is our son dressed up like this? Like an it? Huh? What? Huh?
Gerald, think about what you're gonna say before you say it.
Oh, okay then. Sorry. Let me start over. Who is this person?
That's your son.
Oh, yeah, right. I have one of those. Why is he dressed like a loon?
That's a good question. I don't really know.
Is he mentally ill?
The word is ill, and no, he's perfectly sound of mind.
What's wrong with you, boy?
I'm perfectly fine. Just a thing that I do for, recording and YouTube and stuff.
Sweet merciful mother of Sue, I knew we were being recorded by aliens.
Gerald, there's no such thing as aliens. Sit down.
But the creature said we were being recorded by aliens.
I never said anything about aliens. I said I record this, I use these, I wear this when I'm gonna record myself for YouTube. You're not being recorded by aliens, alright? And did you just call me a creature?
Catastrophe evaded. I've got to tell General Claus.
General who?
General Santa Claus. He needs to know we've landed on Mars.
Polly, your father's officially lost it.
Agreed.
So what are you doing later, boy?
I'm gonna go record something. Actually, I should probably get to that now. Thanks for the breakfast.
Who the heck was that?
Wait, that's not what this is about. Minecraft! I'm a real YouTuber now! Gonna play some Minecraft, except it's different. Better fantasy, as in magic. So I'm gonna load into this thing, I'm gonna play some Minecraft, I'm gonna be a freaking witch. I'm gonna have, my goal is not to beat the Ender Dragon, because that is very, very hard. And if I do that, it's gonna take forever. So I'm just going to get the strongest magic and clothes in the game. That is my goal on hard.
Okay, so I load in and I have a choice now. I can pick from human, wood elf, half-elf, goblin, valkyrie, fae, siren, dwarf, high elf, ogre, moon elf, random, or human. So I usually go for the elf because it's a cat and it has a few abilities that I will demonstrate later. But it's just my preferred pick. So I load in to the world. I have an iron guidebook. I'll get more onto that later. But for now I just explore a little bit and walk around. I get some wood. Make a pick. Don't mind them, those are my birds. Make a pickaxe. And I start mining. You get some stone. Birds scream. And I make better tools. Make my stone pick, my stone axe, so on and so forth. I decide not to make a sword at the moment because I will show you later. Anyway, I gather some more wood. And I come over to this spot. You heard that, right? That was a structure with a ton of pillagers inside of it. I decide to screw that noise and go the other way. I walk around for a few more minutes until I decide to just start climbing the trees, I think. The Alfiks can climb vertically up places. That's one of their abilities. That writing in the sky that you might have just seen is one of my mods that I tried putting onto this kind of malfunctioning. I'll get rid of that later. Anyway, I walk around a little bit more and I come across something that I like to call a zombie village. It's a village where there's only zombies, basically. Or more of a stable for horses. I go to this little spot here and there's a zombie spawner. That is one of the more important things that I found that I just kind of neglected. I saw it and I thought food, because the Alfiks, they can't eat normally. They can't eat anything that's not meat. So zombie flesh is kind of one of the better ways to eat. It's just easier. Anyway, I walk over here, I find some Shiba Inus, because dogs, and then I'm over at the edge of the forest. I don't really want to go into the thick of it, but then again, I have no choice. So I need to go inside, and I immediately get attacked by a zombie. Or the zombie gets attacked by me. Something was happening with my thing here. Usually the Alfiks have a power boost when it comes to the hitting barehanded. So they can hit stronger with their bare hands, but it wasn't working right there, so I walked over here and I decided to make myself a sword. I was confused because it was like, it's supposed to hit harder, so I hit it with the sword, it does the damage, and then I hit it with my hands, and then it does more damage. I guess the game lagged, or it was just waiting for me to kill something. Anyway, I continue along my way into the forest, and I find a bear and a creeper. As an Alfik, basically a cat, creepers are scared of me, and they do not care to explode around me, which is a plus. I climb on top of the trees inside of this enormous forest, and I see straight leaves. There's not a single square of like freaking grass anywhere, just trees. I walk over here and I demonstrate another ability the Alfiks have. The Alfik can jump from really high places, and so long as the damage wouldn't be 3 hearts, would be more than 3 hearts, I won't take the damage. I come over here and I take a few bad falls. Those falls did like 3 damage, 3 hearts or less. I come over to this little structure that I find in the river. It's a fisherman's hut. So I go up to the fisherman, and he gives me a task. This is an RPG mod pack, so you can take tasks from certain villagers or certain characters in the game, NPCs. So then I rob this man of all the fish he has, because he's a fisherman. I set my spawn point, and then I just kind of leave, never to return. I don't need that guy anymore. He's useless. After a few more minutes of swimming on this boat, I find myself at another piece of land. I break my boat and climb on top of this little hill that was up here. I need iron, so I start mining into this cave, make some torches, and I'm further down into the cave now. There's a problem though, because there's a cave down here, and I'm very ill prepared. I do not know this yet. I thought I could handle what was down there, so I go upstairs and I make more torches. I thought that would help me prepare a little bit more, so I go inside and I jump after a minute. Hang on. I'm bad at this. And I jump. I immediately start building upwards because there's a few mobs inside of here that I know. And I get hit by a freaking skeleton, so I decide to book it and never to return. I left. I never came back. That was scary. I almost died. I don't have a respawn point in here yet, aside from that villager hut. I get into a boat and I leave. I have a goal in mind for at this moment. I need to find a village. Preferably a village with a church, because you'll find out later. So skip a little bit and I find myself at this rune portal, right? I need materials and iron. So I find iron nuggets. That's perfectly golden. And then a golden sword with looting. I think that I might need that later, so I grab it. And after loitering a little bit, I kind of decide to stay there because I'm a chicken. But after I grow a pair, I move over to land because it's nighttime. I didn't want to go, but then I grew a pair and I, got on the land. A few moments later, I get attacked by a bunch of animals, by a bunch of mobs, and something that's called a chiromancer that shoots icicles. Look at this. You see that? It shot an icicle at me. I go on top of these trees that are over here, and I just kind of leave. It's still shooting at me, but, you know, it doesn't hit me. I find myself at this little village, and I was very excited for it because I thought, yeah, I'm going to find what I need. But no, it doesn't. I loot it, and after looting it, I kind of rest there. I go to another village, and this one has a church in it. So I'm thinking this one is going to have everything that I need, which is arcane essence. So I go into the church, I look for the arcane essence, and lo and behold, they didn't have it. So I go over to another one of these little zombie stables, and they have something that I was also looking for. It was string. So I break all these spider webs, loot the stable, grab the string, and I make something that I needed for a little bit of time. So I needed to make a backpack. This backpack can hold basically my entire inventory. So I dump all my inventory into the backpack, and I make another one. Then I make another little trick. You can smoke or cook zombie flesh in this game to make leather, which is very helpful later on, because leather and cows, not the easiest way. I make another backpack, and I continue along my way. I find myself on top of a tree in a snowy forest, and a palace where I can see it over there. There's a problem though, because I am very ill prepared for that palace, so I start cooking all of this pork that I have, and mutton and beef. I look into my skill thing, or my progression table, which gives me XP and little prizes for progressing into the game. That's not really too important, but it'll be, I guess, something later. So my pork is done cooking late the next day, and I start making my way over to the palace that's over here. This palace is guaranteed to have the arcane essence that I'm searching for. So I climb over, set my spawn point here. It is on hard mode, not hardcore. So I set my spawn point, and I walk in. I loot the upstairs a little bit first, all the paper and beds that it has. And the arcane essence, real quick, I'm going to explain, is basically the entirety of what I need for the entire game. Because without arcane essence, you can't do any magic spells. So I need that stuff to make spells. I need to go down here, though. So I mine these slabs here, and there is an NPC if you just saw it. So I need to get down there, but I decide to first set a chest, so I don't die with all my stuff on me and have a hard time finding it later. Because that is going to happen. I'm pretty sure I'm guaranteed to die in this point. So I put all my stuff inside of this chest, all my armor and stuff, and then I make my way into the back downstairs. Immediately this guy starts attacking me, and I start attacking him. He kills me in 2 hits. So I go back downstairs, and I hit him again. He just healed. You heard that? He just drank a potion of healing. So I go back downstairs, and he hits me again after I hit him. Completely unprovoked, by the way. He just kind of starts attacking me and killing me. Like, what the heck? For no reason, he comes over just attacking me. All I'm trying to do is steal his stuff. Look, he killed me again. So I go down there, and he teleports. He teleports away. Yeah, he saw that, he teleported away. So that gives me a perfect opportunity to just kind of take all his stuff. So that's what I do after I loot my corpse. So I get all the paper, the ink, and then finally the arcane essence. The entirety of what I was searching for around an hour, not even gonna lie. But I loot the rest of his chests, and I start making my way back upstairs. He had these 3 scrolls. 4 scrolls I get later, actually. He had these scrolls, right? So the scrolls are the spells. The spell scrolls. So I'm gonna make a book later on, like a spell book, that I can put these scrolls into, and I can use the spells whenever I want. Because if I just use the spells as a scroll, the scroll will disappear. So I get all my stuff back, and I start climbing onto the side of his palace, because he has an inscription table, and I don't feel like making that. So I take his inscription table, and I make my way over to this little village, an ice village. I go around a little bit, I explore, and I am surprised by how many villagers there are in that one spot. After exploring for a moment, I take shelter in this little hut. It is raining and snowing, and there are zombies outside. So I decide to start working on my spellbook. I grab my backpack, pull out my iron, and I make chains. Make 3 chains, and then I grab my leather and paper. And I finally have my iron-bound spellbook. Iron-bound tome. Same thing. Anyway, I put my inscription table down and get my scrolls. I place my tome on the inscription table. And then I put the scrolls where they go inside of the tome, so I can use them over and over again. These are all ice spells. Finally, I have the magic that I searched like an hour for, but I don't have everything that I need. So I make a shovel, and then I grab some arcane essence and put it at the top, shovel in the center, and then iron at the bottom. That gives me a Greybeard staff. The Greybeard staff makes it way easier for me to just cast spells, because if I didn't have it, I would have to press a button on the keyboard that I'm not trying to keep track of all the time. So I place my bed down and I sleep for the night, because I heard a little zombie, and those are my absolute biggest fear in all of Minecraft. So I sleep for the night, leave it as my spawn point, put the tome on, and can use magic now. 3 different spells. I go outside, hear a cat meow, because cat, and I walk around a little bit. I need to find somewhere that I can cast my spells where the golem won't attack me, because if I hit a villager with it, you know, golems, they attack. So I find this little animal pen over here, and a golem. And the animal pen, you can finally see the spells as I cast them. Icicle. Perfect. Without magic, you can't really go too far in this game. You can actually, but it's way harder. I'm not really sure what this spell does, but it does something. Anyway, I move on to using my Cone of Cold, which is by far the more powerful one that I have here. Kind of close range though. But it kills him. So now I have magic.